if there were 5 areas that are the most important for Americans to know, and there is somebody that's on the tipping point of being a whistleblower that needs to be inspired, what would be 5 departments, areas of knowledge that somebody has access to information that was like, the Afghanistan, the things that Snowden and Assange had, Hillary Clinton, all that stuff that came out? What would be the 5 areas for a whistleblower with access to information, if they're inspired and they're willing to go through the challenges that goes through, for them to blow the whistle?
I would start with the Epstein files.
Number 1.
Only because it's a window into how corrupted and how deceitful our global elite is. Right now there's a huge scandal in the UK because a lot of stuff is emerging despite the Trump administration's concealment of these files with Prince Andrew, that he was far closer to Epstein than he tried to claim, that his relationship extended far beyond the date he did. So there's a lot untold in there. And I'm not saying the issue of, who was with Jeffrey Epstein for whatever reasons in and of itself is the most important thing. But I think the reasons why 2 consecutive governments have hidden those files, first Biden administration, now Trump, reveals a lot about how just global elites function in general. So I just think it would be something that would enable Americans to understand the true depths of the decadence inside global elite culture. So that's number 1. Number 2, I would say there's a lot of questions about where all that money went that we sent to Ukraine. There's a lot of I think, massive. Ukraine was always known as the most corrupt place in Europe before this war started. Lots of evidence about how there's no, Rand Paul tried to introduce an amendment saying before any more money goes to Ukraine, we just should have an audit of where it's going. And he got accused of being a Russian agent. The bipartisan Senate rejected that. I'd love to have an audit of where that money has gone. Billions and billions and billions. There's a lot about the U.S.-Israeli relationship, including the fact that we tried to get Israel to do a whole bunch of things, both Biden and Trump. They basically stuck their middle finger up at us and we swallowed it. And why? And to
which area? Be specific.
Well, there's just, there's a case that just came out yesterday where in 2022, the Israelis shot in the head an American journalist in the West Bank. Very, respected American journalist. She had covered that region for a long time. And the Israelis first denied it and said, no, it wasn't us. And then it turned out it was absolutely them. They admitted it. They said it was unintentional. The military investigators for the United States who investigated it concluded that the Israelis did it on purpose, that they knew that she was a journalist, that they knew who she was, and they shot her in the head because of that. And high-level Biden State Department officials overrode that and said, no, we cannot publish this. We're going to come out and say that it was unintentional. Yeah, her name is Abu. Just if you type U.S. journalist, it's her. Her name escapes me. Shireen Abu Akleh. There was just an article there. You see the brother of journalist Shireen shot dead by the Israeli army 3 years ago.
What I want to know is the higher up of Biden's administration that said we can't, talk about.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Who was it though? Who was the higher up?
Blinken.
Oh, okay, got it.
Who's a lifelong Israel supporter. He's Jewish. He grew up in circles where you're taught to love Israel. Your duty is to support Israel, to defend Israel. I think the more light's shown on that relationship. Also, even in terms of the West Bank, Trump said under no circumstances will Israel annex the West Bank, but Israel is annexing the West Bank. Our policy for decades has been it's extremely harmful to American interests for Israel to annex the West Bank because the more of the settlements expand, the less likely it is for a two-state solution. Without a two-state solution, our interests in the region are jeopardized. Israel doesn't care. They just keep ignoring us. They just go back to Reagan and Bush 41. We're enraged that Israel is expanding settlements, and they just do it anyway. So why does that happen? Why is this tiny little country who we finance, who we support, who we arm, who we protect?
Can you do me a favor? And by the way, so far I have 3 of them, and I want to get to the 4th and 5. But let's stay on this because we'll get to the 4th and the 5th. Try to give me the argument from somebody who would be disagreeing with you, but from a noble side, and then give the argument from your side, which is noble. You're a straight up guy. But try to give both arguments, not from the standpoint of, I think they're evil. I think they're this. I think they're that. Try to give both sides of the argument. Why do you think that is?
Okay, so the argument as to why we do so much for this country, this is, by the way, in a region that, I mean, oil is important there, but Israel doesn't have oil. Israel, is in the Mediterranean. It's not a very geostrategically vital location for the United States. The argument, though, is that by having a ally in the region with whom we work very closely, militarily, technologically, economically, it's almost like a forward operating base. They're like an arm of the American military that does our dirty work for us in the Middle East, so that we don't have to go to war in the Middle East. We rely on Israel. They give us technology that is helpful. Their tech sector is very, very advanced. They do develop weapons. They develop surveillance technology that's among the best in the world that sometimes we don't even develop. They share it with us. So we get benefits from protecting them, from arming them, from financing them. That basically, and it's the only democracy in the region, and we benefit for some reason for having a democracy in that region. That's the argument, is that we get benefits from it. It's not just a one-way street, that for all the money we give them, all the arms, all the sacrificing of soft power and global standing that we incur to protect them, we get benefits the other way. The reason that's not true is because, as I just got done saying, look at how many times Israel has done exactly the things we insist are the things that harm us and our interest in the region. You go back so many years, back to the 80s, really. Let's say the 80s. The position of the Reagan administration, the Bush 41 administration, was your continuous refusal to enter into a two-state solution, to your permission to settlers to keep expanding in the West Bank is destroying a two-state solution. And our problem in the Middle East, the reason why so many people in the region hate us, the reason there's so much anti-Americanism, the reason why things like 9/11 happen, is because so many Arabs and Muslims hate us in the region. And the reason they hate us principally is because they know that we are the ones giving you the weapons to kill Palestinians and Muslims in the West Bank and Gaza. And we need a peace there. But you're preventing a peace, and you're harming. And David Petraeus, lots of generals have said, our biggest problem in the Middle East comes from Israel's refusal to stop these settlements. And they, even though they're dependent on us, even though they need our money, even though they just refuse. On top of that, when we did the Snowden reporting, we provide Israel with more raw data, including about American citizens, than any other country in the world. We just hand them huge amounts of our surveillance. In response, on the list of greatest threats to foreign threats to surveillance, Israel is the number one greatest adversary that spies on us with the most efficacy, with the least amount of limits. We publish these articles showing that. So we're financing this country. We're financing this country. We're arming them. We're doing everything for them. And in return, they pursue policies that directly harm our interests in very serious ways. And they spy on us, constantly. They spy on us all the time. The AIPAC has gotten caught working with Pentagon officials to steal extremely sensitive secrets that they passed to Israel. They've been, the Pentagon officials were convicted for that. AIPAC got their case dismissed under strange circumstances. You had Jonathan Pollard, who was spying on the U.S. government from inside the U.S. government, handing it to Israel, became a hero in Israel. They shoot Americans. They kill Americans. There are Americans dying in their detention facilities. Where is this allyship? How are we benefiting from Israel? Look at the UN. And the UN is, nothing. People talk about the UN like it's some Marxist organization. It's just a collection of the governments around the world. The governments around the world appoint the representatives. They go vote the way the government wants. That's all it is. We're constantly isolated in the world to protect Israel.
Who would be your second? So say you don't have Israel. Say you stop Israel and all the intel. I think you would agree that Mossad is one of the best intel agencies in the world.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So what happens, say we both say we're done, forget about the relationship. It's done. America and Israel no longer have a relationship, no longer exchanging of intel, no longer of giving intel to us in the Middle East. Pretty chaotic area. Who's our second partner?
Well, we have a lot of very close allies in that region. We have a gigantic military base in Qatar. Have you been to Doha? You go to Doha, and not just the Emiratis. The thing is, first of all, I'm not even saying cut off our relations with Israel. Why do we have to finance them? Why do we have to send billions of dollars every year to them? Many billions more.
Maybe it's in exchange for, you said it earlier. They don't have, like, if we're dealing with Qatari, or if we're dealing with some of these other guys, they already have plenty of money. These guys already have oil. They have resources. You said they don't have resources, right? Their resources is what? Business. I don't even know where they get their money from.
But what they don't have, but the thing is like these countries with whom we're allied in the Middle East, and Trump loves them, by the way, like the Saudis, the Emiratis, the Qataris, the Jordanians. Trump loves them for a lot of reasons. The problem with them that they have endless amounts of money because of oil, and they've turned their societies into, you visit those countries and the infrastructure and the architecture is far more advanced. The streets are than the United States. The streets are cleaner. The airports work better. Everything's more advanced. But it relies on extreme levels of repression. They're dictatorships, very brutal dictatorships.
So who do you trust more?
Well, but I mean, so I'm just saying that what they need that they don't have is military protection, surveillance technology. We're crucial to their security. We are, like, in fact, when
there is Qatar security or Israel security.
We're crucial to Qatar security. We're crucial to Saudi security.
After 2 years of working on this, we have finally pulled it off. And let me tell you what it is. Every time we do the Vol conference, if you've attended, you know this. I stand up and I speak for probably 45 hours is what I do at the Vol conference. And I love it. I love being around the guys. I love it. But I wear the Ferragamo shoes when I do this. Or I wear some kind of dress shoes. Eventually, for the last 25 years, I've always been on stage walking around. I'm like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of it. I want a shoe that I'm comfortable wearing. And here's what I love. I don't like shoes that are so heavy. That's a dumbbell. You can use it as a weapon. I don't want that. Like the Xenia, you carry it. I have so many of them, but they're so heavy. Like you can literally curl the Xenia, the shoes, and you'll get a pump within 30 reps. And I wanted the combination of the Hoka, the On-Cloud, the Super Foam, because there's a big thing going on right now with the Super Foam where the bottom of the shoe, you wear it. You know which ones I'm talking about, the On-Cloud or the Hokas, right? They're so comfortable. And I said, what if we take luxury and then combine it with the super comfort? What would that look like? And let's build it in Italy. So what do? We went to Italy. We designed the shoe in Florida. We made the shoe in Italy in five of the factories. We went back and forth, God knows how many times. And by the way, the shoes we're about to launch and introduce to you right now, where you're going to see the video for the first time, I've been wearing those shoes for the last 22 days straight. I'm wearing them right now. I literally wear it with suits. I wore it yesterday when we went to lunch. I wear it every single day. It's the most comfortable shoes I have, yet it's authentic Italian leather. Rob, if you don't mind playing the video, go for it. Here's the video of the latest shoe, the FLBs. When we set out to create a shoe that blends comfort, function, and luxury, we had the choice to make it fast. We had the choice to make it cheap. We chose neither. Instead, we chose Tuscany, Italy. We chose true Italian craftsmanship, each pair touched by 50 skilled hands. We chose patience, spending 2 years perfecting every detail, and we chose the finest quality at every step. Introducing the Future Looks Bright collection. Not rushed, not disposable, not ordinary. Rather, intentional, luxurious, timeless.
Boom.
There you go. Designed in Florida, 100% made in Italy. 50 hands touch each shoe that was made. And here's what's unique about it. I want to kind of show this to everybody that knows this. And I've worn pretty much every one of these shoes. So if you compare this, the Italian leather, of course, it's made in Italy. It's not assembled, made in China, assembled in Italy, 100% made in Italy, assembled in Italy. It's FLBs, Berluttis, which are $1,840, Ferragamos are $895, Xenias are $1,190, and Gucci's are $950. Leather premium lining, all of them except for Gucci. Laceless feature, it's the FLBs, the Berluttis, you have laces, Ferragamos laceless, and then you have also the Xenias, and then the Gucci's have the laces. I don't want to wake up in the morning, put laces on. I want to get out the house. Took me 3 seconds to put my shoes on today. Craftsman, 5 different Italian factories all made this shoe. Berluttis are the same as us, as well as FLB. But the only shoe, these trainers, the only one in the world today, according to the factories that told me this in Italy, that has the super foam, the only one that has the same super foam used in the On-Clouds and the Hokas, it's the FLBs, and they're officially out, and you can place the order. Here's a challenge. We only have 1,000 of these pairs. And when you say 1,000 of these pairs, they start from size, I believe, is it 8? It goes 8, 9, 10, 10.5, 11, 11.5, 12, 13. Those are the sizes that we have. And the shoes that you can get today, the colors, You have access to, Rob, if you can go back there, you can have access to those browns, which is absolutely beautiful. And by the way, the brown on the bottom, the stitching on the side is a left stitching. If you can change the picture, and on the bottom it says the future looks bright. Look at the white lines on the side. It's beautiful. The only ones we have right now that you can get sent out today are the black and the browns. If you do want the white to pre-order, I would highly recommend you do so. They're going to come out the second week of December. So the white and the navy blue comes out the second week of December. The browns and the blacks are available. If you believe the future looks bright as much as we do, go place the order. There's nothing like sitting in the boardroom with your trainers and you put your feet over your knee and people look at the bottom of your shoe and it says future looks bright. That's how you get deals done. All right, so they're out. I'm excited to announce it, and I'm very happy for people to go sport it. When you get them, take pictures, send it our way. We're going to show all these shoes, all the pictures that are being taken. I already got a bunch of them sent to me on Instagram. Go to vtmerch.com, place your order. It's all over the website. Maybe buy it for your husband, buy it for your brother, buy it for your coworkers, buy it for your best salespeople if you want to let them know the future looks bright. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.